everybody. Back finally with a more regular schedule. I think that will last for about another week and then we go into like July the 4th and I will be all over the place once again. But I'm here now. I'm here now and making it work. Alright, let me see if I can get that song going. That should be the song. Let me know if that's too loud. It always feels like it is. I have no idea if it's being super duper loud. Anyways, normally I do a sketch before stream if I'm gonna stream art. But didn't do that. I got home late last night. So, we're just gonna do some sketching, we'll do some chatting, we'll just be having a chill Sunday because stuff has been happening. Stuff has been going on. The first thing that I kind of want to talk about is K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but it was so insanely good. I'm so happy. I feel like animated movies have been such a miss lately, and I'm really glad that we're having some strong contenders for a moment. I'm glad that things are coming back together. I'm glad that maybe like advertising's getting better, people are handling things a little bit better. It's just been a good time, and it's just, oh, I also, like, one of the biggest things that I'm picky about with movies, especially like animated movies and stuff, is a decent soundtrack. And I'm so happy that K-pop Demon Hunters, oh my god, has like, I knew it was gonna have a good soundtrack because they got a lot of famous people on there. And I was like, okay, well they're getting the good people for it. But the music's been so good, dude. I don't normally get attached to music in movies quickly. I am somebody who takes forever for music to grow on me. But I've been listening to the soundtrack nonstop. I've been insanely obsessed with it lately. And I just feel like I haven't felt this good about movies and the music and just like been so hyped about something. I feel like I haven't had an amazing amount of love that I wanted before. And it's coming back. I feel like we're really getting the comeback I deserve. Oh my god, Cryaria, welcome in, but I'm so sorry, sweetie. Oh my god, please spend time with your aunt. Please take care of your aunt. By all means, absolutely do what you gotta do, queen, for that. Appreciate you stopping in, but obviously be with your aunt. Be with your aunt, queen. I also, like, I've been trying to do, because I want to do reading poses. That's, like, one of the things that I've been trying to sketch lately. And I was, like, needed some kind of inspiration. I needed something to kind of help me get a basis going. And every time I look up, I'm like, reading poses. Girl, I blame social media for this. Every singular time I look it up, it's always like, it's this. They're like, oh, cute reading pose. And they'll have, like, a book. And then they'll just be like, me behind the book. And I'm like, whatever. They're just like, oh, look at me, it's me holding a book. And I'm like, this is a dumb pose. This is like such a social media pose where you're just like, oh, it's me reading a book and the book is covering my face. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, that's not the reading pose I want. I don't want the social media picture pose. I want, like, actually somebody reading a book so I can get a basis of what I want. It's been a struggle. It's been an unnecessary struggle for me. But hopefully I will get something today that will stick, because all of my recent attempts have been non-sticky. Also, on the track record of things just being kind of good, besides like being happy with where the animation world is going at the moment, I'm also happier with video games. I saw one of those posts that was like, let me incite some violence and say there hasn't been a good video game in like 50 years. And then all they cited was like, there's just not a lot of video games that are, what's that type? Like fighting games? They're like just disappointed in the recent fighting games. And I'm like, Sure, there's like 1,000 other genres out there. There's so many other different types of video games. I was like, you would not last a second in my incredibly difficult Animal Crossing Hello Kitty Island adventure game. I'm like, please, games are actually doing pretty, like, games have been so fun, because I feel like there's a healthier balance between having games that are very, like, AAA kind of games. I feel like AAA games are starting to come back at releasing things that aren't cash grabs, but also indie games are so phenomenal right now. I ended up backing that one game on Kickstarter where it's got like a shoujo dating simulator kind of imagery. I need to look up the title for it again. I don't get it wrong because I might be a word off. I think it is. But I'm happy to see like so many different creative stuff. I feel like otome games are the ones that like they need more love. I think more people need to play otome. Snow Kiss Romance. Ohio. I know that video, the man in the sports video gamer. He is the least of our words. Man probably spends 2,000 on my. I like to each their own. I cannot sports game to save my life. I cannot relate to sports game. But I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. There is so much more to the world than just sports games. Like, the amount of games and like the endless amount of genres and stuff is just, there's such a variety, man. Like, pick something. Pick something else. Try something else. Like, not everything's gonna be for you, but like, surely something other than sports games is. Surely something else is there. I'm about to say something. Oh, I've been going down the rabbit hole because I played this game, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's one of the indie games that's popping off lately called Blueprints. And I've gotten into it because I like a little bit of a puzzle game. It gets a little mathy for me and I'm like, I don't want to do math though. That's just math class. That's less puzzle and more math class. But I like a good riddle. I like a good puzzle and everything. But it's one of those things where the game, I would imagine where the game currently is, it's not fully solved. People have not fully figured out the entirety of the game, and I don't think we've reached the final conclusion that you can have there, because there's one element that's still missing. And a lot of people are like, we've just concluded that the game is not meant to ever be finished. And I was like, no, that's lame. That's lame to me. That's lame. I just think we're all too dumb to have figured out what's going on. I think that's just it. Or some people have hinted that like it's not done because it needs an update, which is also very much the case, that they're like, oh, we'll sneak an update that will boost it a couple months later so that people will buy it in bulk again. For that second wave of hype. I mean, it's why like something like Stardew constantly comes back, because they're like, oh, but it's not over yet, we've got an update. And I feel like that in of itself is what they're probably. Because I think people looked at the code and found nothing. There's tons out there, especially indie games. If you're picky and saying games are dead, that's your fault. Yeah, that's my thing. I was like, there's way too many games at this point for people to sit there and be like, the game's industry is dead. The game's industry is dead. I was like, if you, like, maybe... I think there's a fair amount where you can be like, I'm disappointed in AAA games. I think that's, like, usually a pretty easy... That's a pretty easy low-hanging fruit thing to complain about. Where it's like, AAA games are not doing what I want them to do. And I'm like, that's fair enough. That's something you can have a valid argument for. But, like, in terms of just of game and variety, there's such a, huge diaspora of games that you can pick from. And I'm like, you just gotta find one that's for you, buddy. You gotta find, like, your niche. And sometimes you gotta experiment outside your niche, because there's so many games that I would never imagine I would have ever enjoyed. Like, when I was a kid, I was a huge, like, wimp. I did not like horror anything, but I'm trying to think about what really, like, goated me. I think it was just the era of Amnesia. I think I grew up in the Amnesia era where Amnesia popped off and, like, a bunch of content creators played Amnesia, and I think that ultimately, despite how terrifying that game is, and how stressful, one of the most stressful horror games you can play because you can't fight the monsters, I think it really helped me get not scared, and then I got more interested in, like, plots. Like, my desire, like a cat, my curiosity was overriding my, like, fear for things. What was I doing on this? I need to always have, like... have like a reference going at all times. Yeah, AAA is that's understandable. Too much money spent on a game that takes 5 years plus to develop, and it's so disappointing. Yeah. Also, the early 2010s, late 2000s Twinsies. Yes, let's go. Yeah, I think Amnesia jump-started my love for it, but then there, like, I think JRPGs, because I'm definitely part of the era that had, what were they called? We had Eve, we had Witch's House, we had Force of Drizzling Rain, which I feel like the generation after me got into that creator's other game, which was, what was it? Angels of Death? I think that really popped off for the generation after me. Wada no Hara. What's other good ones? What's other good, like, indie JRPG horror that, like, just went so hard? Paranormal something or another. I wasn't a fan of Aoni, but it definitely was part of that generation. But yeah, like, I really just liked plot. Like, I think one of my all-time favorite horror video games to date that I absolutely hated when I started playing it was Cat Lady. Cat Lady was like, oh, I hate the mixed media, I hate how eerie it is, I hate, like, it's so gross, and it's really violent, and there's some really intense jump scares out the gate, but it has one of the most compelling, very triggering, but most compelling narrative I've ever seen in a game. And as somebody who didn't even get the good ending, I didn't realize that there were multiple endings, and I just got the neutral ending. Dude, that's the like, I've never played a game and been like, the neutral ending is better than the canonical ending. I feel like the emotional ride you go on is very much worth it. I feel like the payoff and the lesson that the main character learns / you. I really like. I don't remember the name of the studio that does those games. They're all. I can't say they're all great. I think his first game that he remade, the first pass of that game was rough, but it was interesting. Mad Father's another big one. There's just the JRPG ones, like, were cooking. I also feel like at the time, Japan was much better about taking any medium and trying to put a narrative. Because, like, I feel like that was a struggle with Western animation, and why I was really drawn to Japanese anime more than I was Western TV shows. Because there's more narrative, and usually much more respectful, mature narrative in anime than a lot of, like, kids' cartoons and stuff at the time. Like, I was in the trenches with series like, not that it doesn't have, like, an interesting plot overall, but, like, you get something like Phineas and Ferb that's stuck being incredibly repetitive and doesn't have a lot of character development in the grand scheme of things, compared to, like, My Bushi Witches! Segue. Here's me segueing into My Bushi Witches. But yeah, I think also Western animation has realized that they can write shows and put a plot in it too. But also, I think that's why a lot of people loved Avatar, because Avatar was like an oasis in a desert of a lot of animated shows that had to be episodic. Definitely, and even the Amnesia people were Swedish. Yep. Yup. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot of people realize that we can embrace narrative. Because I like a plot. Not everything needs a plot. But girl, do I love a plot. That's one other thing that happened when I went down my Blueprints route, is I love listening to people who explain video games or, like, do a deep dive into lore and, like, grab things that you might have missed, because there's always, like, collectibles with lore. But I was watching a couple of videos, and every video, instead of, like, trying to talk about the lore of the game, they just talked about how pretentious it was, and I was like, but this game isn't pretentious. You guys are just making this weird narrative that it is pretentious. And I was like, stop. I was like, stop. They kept bringing up The Witness, where I do believe the dev for The Witness was kind of, like, he was not good at PR, I'll put it that way. And he was very pretentious about his game, where it's like, to be pretentious. People can just like a video game for what it is, and it can do a certain thing, but it doesn't have to be better than everybody else. It was getting me annoyed. I was like, please stop comparing this game to another game and, like, being pretentious. Instead, just tell me what the plot was. Just tell me all those secret notes I missed. That's all I care about. Don't get me started on the finale. I already know we got a season 2 coming. We have to have one. Come on, the ending was for nothing. Oh my god. They did say that, I don't know what they meant by this, but My Boshy Witches did state that they have a special program, I think next weekend? But I don't know what that means. Is it a special program like they putting up a video on YouTube? Or is it a special program where it's actually gonna air? Like, I need more details. Lorementaries, I love that. On YouTube are some of the most relaxing things ever to watch, especially for video games. You adore. Huge guilty pleasure of mine and icebergs. Yes, you get me. You get me. I love lore dives. They're just really addictive. Like, I found this one guy, and I literally I think I sunk like 2 weeks into just watching every video on his channel. Which, at that time, it was great, because he dropped some really long videos right when I, like, subscribed to him. I think it's Gaming Harry. He, like, does all the lore for, like, a bunch of different horde video games, both very popular and then very indie. And I was like, yes. Talk to me. Like, he is the production value for his stuff, and then he gets so much footage from the video games and then walks through the story, and I'm like, oh, this is absolutely delectable. I love just listening to people pontificate about stuff. And he collects all the details, and I was like, this is why I need to, like, I need to lock in with a few lore people and then just commit to them, because every time I'm like, let me, like, just try a one-off guy, because this is the only person who posted, and then they're like, I'm now gonna talk about why this is the best game ever, and I was like, no, I don't want to hear about this being the best game ever, I want the lore. Tell me about the notes I missed, please. I think it's a live show from what I'm seeing on socials. That's what it looks like. That would make sense. They do have the whole gang. Which is another reason why they should have season 2, because they sat here and made a whole idol group. They might as well use them and make a season 2. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's some loose ends that we could unloosify. Big. Also probably should. Whatever. But yeah, I had I think that was like May. I went down my video game lore obsession. Now I'm on my, like, cooking obsession. I've been watching a lot of videos, which I don't think I intentionally was like, I want to watch people who cook. I just, like, people were, like, aesthetically cooking things, and I was like, oh my god, they would, like, have a theme. Like, this person's whole thing would be like, I have a tavern-themed YouTube channel, and then I just make, like, tavern food, but, like, in costume and in character, and I'm like, I love a commitment to the bit. I love a commitment to the bit. I also have a sort of pleasure for vlogs sometimes too. My favorite YouTubers I've watched since I've got on the internet in like 2009 is a vlogger. He started out as an abandoned place. Oh my god. I've got a thing about that. Welcome in! How are you? Let me know if I am pronouncing this correctly. Is it Sujal? If I am pronouncing it wrong, please by all means let me. Please. But back to... Okay, so I actually took a really long time to like vlogs. I was very rejecting of when vlogs, like, came into existence at first, because I was like, why would I care about what other people are doing with their lives? Why would I want to see somebody go to the grocery store? But then, like, after a while, I think it was, like, college, I was like, oh no, I get it. I get it now. I get vlogs. I understand the appeal. And the appeal is to me! I think I found a couple of content creators, most of them are gamers, who did it, like, she's still around, Dodger Dex Bonus. I love her content, but she used to do something on YouTube called Coffee Time. And she would just, like, talk about her day or things that she was trying that were new, and she just is such a compelling talker about mundane stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know why this is so addictive, but it is. So every so often I go back to being like, I'm just gonna watch vloggers for an entire week. Oh, I did find, this content creator unfortunately just changed her, changed for the better, her content to this, but she, like, her entire, the newest video she did was, like, about doing construction on her house, but she did it themed like it was a 70s TV show sitcom. And I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, she filmed it like it was a sitcom and did, like, gags and stuff on top of just doing, like, a normal house, like, We were just like painting the walls and stuff, and I was like, I love the commitment to your aesthetic. That's so, oh my god, I adore that. I don't think I could ever commit to the aesthetic because I think I'm a goofy, silly person. And like, she like was doing the voice and like acting in there, I'm like, I can't do that. I can just make things look pretty, but I can't act pretty. And I'm super addicted to it. I can't wait to see more content from her. Da 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 da. I'm onto trends, but Labubu, not the Labubu epidemic. Problem is, they're so hard to get. All I want is one. Yeah, I think Lil Boo Boo and Pokemon cards both suffer from the absolute abysmalness of the fact that scalpers have ruined the hobby. Like, Lil Boo Boo by no means should be difficult to get. Like, everything else that, because, like, is it Pop Mart that puts it out? It's one of those Chinese, like, gacha companies that put out, like, Labubus and stuff and supply them to, like, convenience stores across the world. Like, they should not be hard to obtain. Oh, the Beebins. My little baby came in. Hi, girl. But they should not be hard to obtain. Like, what is that? Scalpers absolutely ruin these hobbies, and it really bums me out. I'm also a huge GMM enjoyer. I need to remember what that acronym stands for. Been watching them since 2014. Oh my god, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure out what that stands for. I was gonna say Game Grumps, but no. It's not that acronym. Opinion on K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh my god, we talked about that at the top of the stream. Love it. Loved it so much. I'm debating doing a review about it just because I loved it so much and I want to spread the hype for it. The problem is, I think I'll rant too much. I think that will be like an hour-long video. The other thing I want to talk about is my beef with trailers, because I still think animated movies have not had great trailers as of recent, and I think K-pop Demon Hunters, like, pre-advertisement kind of fell short for me. And I don't want to sit there and rant about it and be negative, with the fact that, like, I also am about to go and talk about how much I love this movie, so I don't want it to be way too negative. Girl, I was a summer when I first watched them. Oh, Good Mythical Morning! I'm so bad with acronyms. I'm so bad. Also, hi, welcome in! Love the cartoonist! Yeah, Pokemon TCG was completely ruined for me because of scalpers, which really makes me mad because the one time they release a card set that I'm like, no, but I actually want this card set, was the, what are they called? Prismatic Evolutions with all the EVs. And I was like, I would buy a lot of these. And it's like, dude, not only is it impossible to find, but like all of it's like scalped. So it's a bajillion dollars. And I'm like, no. No, I just wanted a Sylveon. I wanted a Sylveon! Da-da-da-da-da! Would you consider it a magical girl material? Why am I not? I'm very loose with my definition of magical girl series, so yeah, I just include it because it has, like, technically speaking, oh my god, it did not just change to gray. Technically speaking, it falls in, like, definition-wise to just the superhero category because it's the whole thing of, like, having kind of, like, double lives and whatnot. To me, it's got a magical element to it. Why I consider it magic, like, it's got the, like, energy of a magical girl series. And I do think, like, in terms of it, like, actually having magic kind of qualifies it a little bit more than some other series that people throw into the magical girl category. But to me, I call it there. I'm pretty happy to have that loosely in the magical girl category. I think some people will fight on that, but, you know, opinions are here. It's pretty subjective. The magical girl, genre in general is super duper subjective anyways, because originally it was just about, like, actual witches. And then it evolved into, like, the more frilly magical girls, so at the end of the day, to be a magical girl back in the day, you just had to be a witch. Girl wants a Sylveon so bad, she picked her mic. Oops. Oopsie poopsie. Oh my god, speaking of Sylveon, I literally had a little meltdown because they finally released the pre-orders for the giant Sylveon, and I sat there like, do I buy it? Do I buy the giant Sylveon? Do I get the giant Sylveon? Do I take the leap? I ultimately said no because I've spent too much money. I bought Hololive tickets, so I was like, no, I've spent too much now. Yeah, Love, what's your opinion on it? Where do you stand for it being a magical girl series? I know that that's like a contentious spot for some people. Do you have like a personal preference? Like, I'm happy to have it categorized there. But I also can understand why people may not want it to be there if they're gonna be intense about it. But I think it happily is there, and I'm so happy it's successful. Like, my big thing was like, God, I hope this movie does well. Especially because, like, it had somewhat, like, relatable girl energy going for it, similar to Turning Red, but we also how people were awful about Turning Red, despite that being a phenomenal movie. I was about to say, girl, you just got the stars tree. Just no, that was not cheap. Yeah, I've been doing some spending, but to be fair, I'm working on this video. I probably should record a little bit for it today, where I was gonna do a video on the fact that I did not buy the really expensive Wonder figure, Sailor Moon figure, the giant one. I set aside money for it, actually. When they first announced it, they were like, we're gonna have the giant licensed Sailor Moon figure, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna start saving for it, and I saved up for it because it was like around $1,000, and so I set aside $1,000 for it. And then I saw them showcase the figure, and I was like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to balance out how salty I am about that figure while I go over the actual Sailor Moon figure that I had pre-ordered significantly before then. But I was about to pop off about it. And I'm debating on how salty I want to be for that video because I don't know how negatively that might be received, but like, someone's got to speak their truth against that figure. It's so... Not happy with the anatomy. Main body needs... Hi, Miss Ma'am. My cat is just all over the place today, Miss Ma'am. I have not seen her for a week, so I think she is giving me the proper love. She's giving me lots of head buddies. Aren't you Miss Cutie Pie? I've missed my cat, and then I'm gonna have to leave her again in July. Oh. Welcome in. How are you today? Very aggressive username there. You ever seen a cat around here? Oh my god. Oh my god. Meanwhile, I'm absolutely debating where to grab my Friendy cosplay from. Dude, Precure cosplays are so hard to get a hold of. They're so hard to find. And, like, get them good, too. Like, I think the ones I've done, and I've not done many, I've commissioned. Just because, like, not only are Precure cosplays not done by, like, major cosplay companies, but also the outfits are, like, boss-level cosplays. Like, I gotta give it to the people in our community who do the cosplays. Oh, like, every time I see a Precure cosplay, I'm like, girl, that's insane. That's an insane cosplay you're doing there. Alright, Miss Beebins, you gotta get down on the floor because you are trying to step on my computer. And I love you, sweet, sweet baby angel, but you have to be on the floor. Otherwise, you will turn something on or off that I don't need turned off. I bought my first Urusei Yatsura reboot figure, the sitting one. Oh, one of the, what is it, the cup noodle ones? Noodle stoppers. Because I was desperate for a Lum figure. She had some really cute ones. Turns out it had the ugliest face. No! And the other ones were way better. Dude, nothing is worse than, like, it's bad enough when you see that, like, you see a figure and you're like, oh, that figure is ugly. It's way worse when you buy a figure and it looked good and then it's ugly. Like, a lot of, like... Ooh, I think the Miku figures have been suffering that curse, but to be fair, there's 50,000 Miku figures, so statistically speaking, some of them are gonna be uggo. Like, I think the Queen one, where she's got, like, a traditional, like, UK-looking cape and the crown, and she's sitting, I think that one, people were super upsetty spaghetti with how bad that one was. Welcome in, Pink Gotcha Berry, how are you today? The Precure cosplayer is something I must retweet every time I see them. I feel that! I do it more on Instagram because I think the visibility for the images goes better. But yeah, I try to do it, if I see it on, if it comes up on Twitter, I'll do it too. I love to support the people who do those cosplays because, girl, I cannot begin to tell you how insanely difficult it must have been to do any of those outfits ever. They are so hard, especially if anybody does shoes. Like, I wanted to make a video, but I feel like I need to do it. I would have to, like, do it with somebody in the cosplay community to really articulate it, because I don't publicly talk about when I used to do cosplay and stuff. And like when I used to make my own, those are the dark ages of when I was in college and had access to a full studio. But I want to talk to somebody who obviously has been in the cosplay community and just sit down there, and I wanted to rank how hard different Precure outfits would be to cosplay. And talk about like how it looks this way in reality, or it looks this way in the show, but it's like really hard to get that effect in reality. Like one thing you wouldn't think is really difficult with cosplay is all the magical girl skirts. So there's a lot of magical girl skirts with Sailor Moon kind of like starting this trend where it comes around like this. I don't know why I keep forgetting I can just like draw to explain the things I'm talking about, but they like come down and it does this like triangle thing in the front, and then you just like have the actual like skirting. And this triangle bit is not supportive of what a skirt needs to do. Like every time I think about this, it's a Melody. Pure Melody skirt would be so hard to make work in real life. It sucks. It's such a bad skirt in reality, but it looks so cute on her in show. But it's just because it like triangles in the front. Oh my god, Trace! I know you mentioned about me doing this, but I'm tipping you for a drawing. Oh my god, we need to finish your drawing. I need to get more. I need to give you I need to do like a 20 question kind of thing about how specific you want elements of outfits. Like how you want your like collar on the top of the dress to look, whether you want to like what the neckline's gonna look, stuff like that. And I need to sit down and do 20 questions, which I should have more free time this week now that I'm finally home. Those skirts are so hard to get down. Yeah, they literally I think what a lot of Sailor Moon cosplayers have done for when you have like you have the overall, what's the word for it? Like the leotard for the outfit. You have the main leotard for like the Sailor Moon outfit. And then people will literally like sew the skirt onto the body of it so that they can sit there and have like a cute little skirt. And like sewing it onto the leotard is the best way to keep it from moving. Because they just like ride up because you don't have the proper center tension for a regular band. It's just the little cosplay things. Those hearts, yeah. Oh girl, we're gonna do a 20 question thing. I wasn't prepared for a quiz. I think I'm just gonna like, I'll have to get some resources for it, but like, obviously like if you want something that's like a turtleneck style as part of your like outfit, or you want to have some kind of like Infinity Nikki kind of like necklace or something like that. I forget what they're called. Have like some kind of collar. Or if you want to go like bare neck and you want to have like a boathouse style pop and something along those lines. Or it just kind of like comes off the neckline. Like so. Yeah, well I'll go through it with you. We can make sure we get a perfectly curated outfit. I remember I was working on perfecting my Bride Peach dress I did for a con in 2018. A friend of mine spent like 3 hours on the circle line skirt alone because that crap would not stay poofy. Yeah, oh my god, poofing skirts is like a whole, there's so many different ways you can handle it that like you wouldn't know otherwise. Like learning what horsehair braids are. Obviously petticoats are like the easiest way to knock that out, but like people, you need someone to tell you that a petticoat exists for you to know to like throw in a petticoat. And then I like other dresses that would be really hard in the Precure universe would be Moonlight. People who have like the flowy dress, like Moonlight has a level of that dress poofs out in the show where it just magically flares out, where that does not occur. And trying to explain that like, not that I'm trying to shade cosplayers who've done Moonlight, but a lot of them obviously don't know how in the world to make that happen, so a lot of Moonlight cosplays end up unfortunately looking kind of like saggy. You just kind of look like a saggy little wet dress is on there because it's so hard to get that dress to work in reality. And like understand what's happening. And that's just like, that's the bummer of it. That's the like that again, there's so many different like Precure outfits where you're like, this is the easiest one to do in reality, and this is easily the worst one in reality. Not to mention, again, the shoes. I gotta give it to the people who, like, come up with shoes. Because a lot of those shoes, you'd have to actually, like, engineer a shoe, and then people don't realize that shoes require, like, shoes are borderline carpentry, because you have to get in there with, like, nails, and, like, you have to, like, do some stuff can be, like, flat out wood. Shoes are a nightmare. I get, like, my cheat for shoes is always just get, like, boots and then have a cover-up. Have some kind of, like, fabric to cover up, which is what I think a lot of people did during the Love Live cosplay era. Like Gen 1. But like, you just never realize how insanely difficult the outfits are until you start doing it, or how you're like, that doesn't work in reality. That's not how that works. All the fun things about cosplay. I like, oh my god, I sat there and was like, man, I want to get back into cosplay. I'm like, no, I just spent too much money. I cannot get back into cosplay. Oh my god, I gotta wait until I move and I've got enough space to set up my, like, I really want to set up a studio where I can have all of my art stuff, because I've got too many art hobbies. I'm like, I know how to sew, I know how to paint, I know how to do all these different, like, tactile art things, but I just don't have the space, or more specifically, I don't have the proper ventilation. I don't know why you're freaking out, program. I'm like, I just don't have the proper ventilation to, make sure that I'm performing all of these hobbies safely. So I'm hopefully gonna get a bigger space in the future. And, make sure I actually can do my hobbies in a very safe and controlled manner. The one thing a hobby that I keep saying that I'm gonna get back into, and I just haven't had the time, or I need to, like, get the setup for it, is I really want to get back to journaling. I loved doing, like, journaling spreads and, like, just playing around with craft. And I really want to do a vertical format stream for that specifically. But I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And you know what, I gotta basically put it on my calendar. I gotta make it a real date. I gotta make it a real situation that I'm going to do. I'm gonna sit down there and I'm gonna journal. And I'm probably gonna do a Precure spread. That's my brand. Pure Finale's dress. Oh girl, those cosplayers make me jealous. The hours it must have took to do so much detail. Yeah, Pure Finale's another one that's just layers on layers. I think the worst part for Finale would be her wig. Her wig is... It's like, it's just because it's like... And then you got like the Competo in the hair. And you're like, oh my god. Pure Finale would be... You'd have to get really creative with how to handle her. But I've seen, especially like the Japanese cosplayers always push through, but they also have a lot better resources in Japan for cosplay. But I've seen some pretty creative solutions on how to handle her cosplay. I will say though, Wonderful Precure has been great because those cosplays look significantly easier than other ones, and I've seen people be very, very cute with them. It's made me very, very... I haven't seen too much with You and Idol, but I cannot imagine that the You and Idol outfits are remotely easy. I think the You and Idol outfits are probably a cosplay nightmare. Alright, throw in a difference. I feel like this pose is... Do I want to do... I want to do a 3/4 shot? Alright, I'm gonna play with this, but I doubt this will be one of the harder angles. I have no idea how to handle I draw faces, but you know, I should... Yeah, Friendays is very cute and very easy to work with for sure. I think, again, the hardest part for her would be her funky little shoes. Her funky little shoes, and then you could make or break how you handle her hair, because if you want to go for hair accuracy, you have to get the heart braids, but otherwise you could just get some yellow / blonde wig with braids. You could always cheat and use Friendy's wig and then do Choco afterwards. 2 birds, 1 stone. Oh my god, you're right, Choco too. Yeah, we gotta be smart with our cosplays. We gotta multi-purpose them because the price tag do be getting high. Honestly, I wonder if My Boshi Witches will be popular enough that some of the bigger cosplay groups do any of the outfits, because let me tell you, if I see a Mai outfit, I may just get it because I really like Mai's idol outfit a whole bunch. I think she has an insanely cute outfit. On the arm too. Come with me, bud. Coming with me. Somehow took the booba with me. This. Not my normal hair. What's the procedure? What's the procedure with this hair? Oh, how many screens away is my... It's down. Okay, the hair's down. I might just cover it. Da, 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 da. I've seen pre-made cosplays on Osusen for You and Idol. Oh! I haven't used that site in forever. I should check how those are doing. Because I'm not gonna lie, Cure Idol's outfit is pretty cute. And at least for Nana's, they did a pretty good job, not gonna lie. Ooh, that's good. I think I did see something recently for a Nana cosplay. I don't remember what site I saw that on. I've always wanted to see my voice actor friend cosplay their own OCs and some live action. Wait, that would be pretty cool. Live action cosplay Demon Shay would be so hot. That would be pretty. I think people who like make a cosplay for their own OCs or like commission a cosplay for their own OCs is super cool. There's a couple of VTubers that I follow, and there's a cosplay, or what's the word for it? What would we call the person that we commission for cosplays? Why am I like seamstress is not. But there's some kind of seamstress who I've commissioned for in the past, and she's been doing a lot of like custom VTuber ones for the VTubers themselves, and I'm like, I love that. I don't think this will work because I think my hair's too big. Cover up most of like what I visually would have going. I could do the back of the head because it's just gonna be the hair. Yeah, that angle's not gonna work. Cause my hair's too much. There's too much hair, but it was a thought. It was a thought. All right. Idea. I'm like genuinely just scrolling people with books, and anything interesting? Propose. Half these people don't have books, and I'm feeling really lied to right now. Hold the book. This girl's just standing in the sunlight. That's not a book. That's not a book. That's not a book. They are hard. What happened to reading? What happened to education? Ooh, knees up would be fun. That's not a bad idea. I still want them to make the idol versions of the figures. Girl, you don't... I cannot tell you how much I want that. You know how I feel about figures. I would love, every ounce of my soul would love if they had their idol form figures. I think they're just wrapping up the waitress is the wrong term. They're just like work uniform one. Just cute. But their idol forms, though, they pop off. Pop off queen. Oh, I can't believe My Boshi Witch is over. I can't believe that it ended today. Oh my goodness. I'm a little happy because it's been very difficult to do 2 reviews in one day. Like, recording and editing wise. Obviously, I've been posting on different days. Though, to be fair, I think for the final My Boshi Witches one, I'm just gonna post it tonight. I'm not gonna wait until tomorrow. It's the finale, and might as well just, like, hype on that. But, I am happy to not have 2 reviews at the same time. Which means I finally will have time to do pre-Orca, because I will admit I very much procrastinated on working on pre-Orca. But I knew I was not going to do that episode by episode, because I knew that that one's going to air for the entire year, and I cannot do 2 year-long shows at the same time. It'd be too much for me. Too much. And, I think the one thing, though, is I just need to do my pre-Orca background in the way that I have my You and Idol and my, my Bashi Witches one. The problem is the pre-Orca background I did the first time around is way too similar to my Bashi Witches. And there's just not a lot graphically to go off on that series, which is frustrating, but maybe if I watch more episodes, I'll be more inspired. But I think I'm gonna redo the background there and try something completely new. I don't want it to look like a clone of my Bashi videos. And if I keep how I'm figure out how I'm gonna handle these. They're funky monkey. Such an interest. This isn't it. Oh, I finally finished doing the, and I might post it, I have the intro for my manga review finished, and I've shipped off the animation to my music guy, and then I'm going to have a music intro for that, which I'm super excited. I'm very excited to see what he did, because I was like, hey, I have no idea what I want the manga intro music to sound like. You and your kawaii music, pop off. Go do whatever you want, so I'm very excited to see what sort of decisions he ends up making there. And, what that ends up being like. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try to finish up the stuff to actually have that ready. I'm doing a lot visually, and I'm making it way too hard for myself. And, I don't think I'm gonna go this hard for another manga review. Well, I take it back. I think I'm gonna go really hard when I do Magical Girl Dandelion, but I'm waiting for that to cook a little bit more before I do it. But, let me tell you, I have had to, like, completely rework all the panels for the first few chapters. And, like, I'm doing super heavy, like, editing. And I think once it comes through, it's gonna look really good. I think I might as well do progress reports on it, though. And just, like, I feel like the manga video is going to take longer to put out than I originally had wanted to, just because of how much unnecessary work I'm doing for myself, but it's going to look really pretty. It's going to look really pretty and interesting, and hopefully we'll get people to read Stellar Witch Lips, which is the one that ended up winning the votes on the YouTube poll. Which, oh, that's the other thing I finally unlocked. I had no idea what the criteria was to unlock it, but YouTube was like, you get a community, and I was like, hell yeah, I wanted a community so bad. So basically, communities are where I finally allow viewers to post. You guys can actually post stuff. So it's not just me, like, yelling to you guys in a void. I can be like, oh my god, this week everybody should show me a picture of your collection. And then people can show me pictures of their collections. And then we can all have anime figure collections together. Oh my god, I'm really, really excited about that. I'm just happy that people can post, because I feel like the one-sided posting of most everything that I have access to is kind of lame. Like, people can't... They added a little bit of a commenting feature for the Instagram communities, which I'm forgetting the name, on the broadcast channels, where it's like, I don't want to just broadcast stuff. I'd like to post something and then, like, have people be like, oh my god, that looks really cool, or be like, where can I watch this, and stuff like that. Like, I really want to have a little bit more communication. They had the reply tool, but it's very hard to tell when people have actually used it. I have to go out of my way to check if somebody's replied to a post that I posted previously. Whether I'd rather just have, like, a notification, or, like, it threads off or something a little bit more visibly. The drawing looks like Uta right now. There's a little bit Uta vibes, isn't there? Did someone say collections? I did say collections. I'm gonna have to figure out the best way to do it, because I don't want to, like, overly spam people, but I'm gonna be like, alright, hands up, show me your collections right now. Show me, like, in the same way I'm gonna be like, you got a pet, show me your pets. Show me your cute little pet. Welcome in, Ben. How are you today? But I'm very happy about the community, and I'm happy to start doing stuff with that. I just have to not be lazy. Stuff with that. Oh my god, this pose is so actually feels hard in anime version. An anime version. Difficult. I don't know how. Or more like the nose. I don't know where to put the nose. Nose has to choose a side, and it said do the middle. I'm like, there's no middle for the nose. Looks like she's just dry. She looks like she's in the desert scribbling up. Like that one. It looks like that one Winnie the Pooh meme. Oh my goodness. I'm good. Been on the hunt for a sewing machine. Ooh. Talking about cosplay earlier. Yeah, I feel like sewing machines are one of those things that, like, it's very intimidating to get it, because I inherited my mom's, like, Singer machine, and I remember when I first started engaging with, like, the cosplay community IRL at college, they're like, yeah, and heaven forbid somebody own a freaking Singer machine, and I was like, yeah, who would ever own a Singer? Not me. Still own that same Singer. I've been too lazy to get anything else. I do eventually wish I had if I set enough money aside for it, I would love, one of the sewing machines that embroiders. Because, like, I feel like that's a pretty neat skill, and I can just take stuff that I do in Photoshop or, like, Illustrator, and then be like, now do that with thread. And then it's like, bet queen. The eyes look slightly less terrifying. I'll take a win. Take a win where I can. The eyebrows are just... Yeah, I'm planning to start my very first cosplay. Oh, I feel like I could guess who it might be, but enlighten us. Enlighten us on who we're cosplaying. I was gonna use my grandmother's sewing machine, but my cousin nabbed it before I could. No! No, that's like what my sister was like. My sister was like, why did you get the sewing machine? I was like, I guess I'm the favored daughter. I don't know what to tell you. She was so salty about it because she did ballet, and she was like, I want to sew my own ballet outfit. And I was like, no, gotta cosplay anime characters. Mine is surely far more important than yours. I also think that sewing a ballet outfit would be 1,000 times worse than doing cosplay, because you gotta make sure that thing don't be falling apart while you be dancing. You do not want a wardrobe malfunction. You are doing ballet. So to be fair, ballet and, like, ice skating outfits go so hard. Like, every time I look at, like, a ballerina outfit or, like, tune into some kind of ice skating thing, I'm like, why are the outfits going so hard, though? Like, I've never seen such energy for just amazing outfits. And they're just, like, they're not like other outfits. God, that's the one thing I love about the Winter Olympics. I like the reignited love of ice skating that kind of fades away every so often. Ballet goes so hard for no reason. Exactly! They're so cute! Oh my god. Though my little sister did ballet professionally, which is another video I kind of want to do in the future when she's not absolutely perishing at her current job because she has no free time. She did professional ballet for a couple of years, so I kind of want to sit her down and force her to watch Princess Tutu and have opinions. Because I feel like a lot of people have watched Princess Tutu, and I've seen a lot of reviews for Princess Tutu, but I never see Princess Tutu reviews from people who've actually participated in ballet and really talked about it from a ballet perspective. I've seen a lot of people talk about it musically, which is great. Lots of people have backgrounds in music. But I'm like, well, where's the ballet background? Where are the ballet girlies at? I feel like you could get some really cool insight that way. So I would love to do a video with her, but that requires me to get my sister to be near. She recently started a job that's like, do you want to see the light of day? Nope. So I have not heard from my sister in some time. Every time I call her, she's like, I only get 3 seconds to talk to you, and then I gotta go back to job jail. Like, girl. She's like, she's like, if I just endure this for 2 years, it gets easier. And I'm like, you will not last 2 years. Oh man, there's points in my life where like my sister and my brother have taken like very dramatic career paths, and I always wondered, I went the artistic route. I got employed as an artist, and then they did not that at all. And I was like, should I have chosen the lifestyles that they did? And then I hear about their problems, and I was like, it's actually great that I chose the life I did. I am not a professional dancer, but I do have ballet experience, so I could do it. Oh my god, do a review! Do a review of Princess... Have you seen Princess Tutu before? Honestly, I feel like for people who may not have grown up while it came out, it's like a missed hidden gem. But that's another one that's just really good. It's a really good just series. People have very mixed emotions about how it concludes, but the ride is well worth it. It's a crazy zany ride. This is kind of a silly pose that I don't think I could necessarily pull off, but I like the idea. Throw it in. No, I haven't, so I'll be going in blind. Oh my god. It's one of those memes where it's like, I wish I could get amnesia. I could reset my brain so that I could experience Princess Tutu for the first time ever. It's such a good one. It's an absolute masterpiece. Very, very word. I was gonna say underappreciated, but that's not correct. Just a hidden gem. All I can think of. It's such a good experience. Highly, highly recommend. But yeah, again, I really want to hear dancer perspective on that one. Like, I love a good commitment to a theme. But I am curious in regards to, like, some of these series that are super themed to hear how people feel about them carrying out the theme. The funniest one, though, that people do talk about when it comes to show themes is food. I love that, like, every other food creator is like, I will now watch this show and tell you how I feel about the food. That gets me every time. And I really like, for people, obviously, if you do not know Dore Imani, she's fantastic at doing, she does a lot of food theme reviews for the food themed, like, shoujo anime. And I love that she, like, makes the food alongside it to be like, bro, just how hard the food is to make and how realistic it is. While also just being, like, just such a vibe kind of video to watch. But I love people who will do the food dive. Super, super nice. Yeah, but I'm not doing Precure for my first cosplay. That is a big shocker. Ooh. What other hyperfixation is going to be the contender for your first cosplay? I love drawing the eyes for the first time for sketching because they look angy. Like, I'm ingy. But then it softens. Get the rest of the eye going. I'm always a little angry right before. All the rest of it. Angie lord. You go over. Oh, did I miss it in chat? It's going to be Bocheron from Emblem Engage. Oh, I'm gonna do his Seminole outfit. It's simple enough for me to start with. I'm going to do Satoru, but had a few Too many elements for now. That's so fair. That's like, I'm impressed. I have to see what this guy looks like from, Fire Emblem Engage, right? I did a Fire Emblem cosplay as one of my first few. I did the Norian version of Corrin. And that thing was, I don't know what possessed me to do that. I pulled it off, but god, there's so many elements. Usually Fire Emblem cosplays are pretty dang detailed, but do this one. If I even pronounce the name remotely correct. Oh, okay. I see it. So you're gonna have to do some fun with armor. You're gonna have to get some, like... I don't know, I feel like... It used to be Warbler. Warbler used to be the number way to do, what's it called? Armor? Nowadays, the people have moved on to... I think foam is just your easiest bet. Just layer foam and then chisel it down. But even then, just saying those words is, like... so much work. So much effort. Alright, undo. I don't know if you guys hear my nails clickety-clacking every time I undo on my iPad, but I'm like, come on! Come on! Love male Corrin. I like Corrin's design, both female and male, is so good. They really popped off with the designs in that game. I think it's one of those, like, very divisive games on, like, people, whether they like it or hate it. But, dude, you can't deny that the designs go so hard for the cast thing. I think it has, still to this day, my favorite Fire Emblem designs. That's my Fire Emblem bias. I feel like for people, like, if you were a part of the Awakening crew or you were part of the Fates crew, I feel like both of those had really, well, also the, what's the school one called again? Three Houses? I feel like the hype for those three games was, like, peak. I think there was just so much excitement around those games at the time. Post in the Discord what, oh, okay. I'm off. Oh, I love it! That will look cool. That's exciting. You should send pics when you finish. Alright, where's the arm? Go back to my room. Where's the arm? I'm gonna go. Boop boop. Semblance of it. And table pillow. Don't know if I love this, but it's something. Oh. Let's do one more. Let's sketch out one more. Heaven forbid I find something actually. I'm getting so distracted because the pictures that keep coming up for me are like girl drinking a smoothie, and I was like, well, I now want to draw a girl drinking a smoothie? That's not. I need to stay on point. I need more book poses. Ew, AI. None of that. Whew, I'm so happy that Midjourney's getting sued. It's like really making my personal life a lot easier. That there's being a lot of backlash for AI. I'm like, thank God. Thank God. The less I have to hear about AI because it's a problem, the better it is for me. Three Houses' opinion has soured over time. Interesting. I feel like I missed the boat for Three Houses because I was in the process of finishing college and getting a job, so I didn't have time. But I watched from a distance as people, like, were super, super excited. Fates and Engage are my favorite games of all time. I wish I heard more hype around Engage. I feel like I just haven't heard people talk about it as much. Which is sad. Like, I feel like whenever a fandom is really, like, on fire and you're not super deep into it, it's very entertaining to just see people happy about it. Like, when people were really in... Well, I was in the fandom for New Horizons, but, like, seeing people get excited about New Horizons was a bunch of fun. Having this. Why not? No! Did my pin die? Oh, my pin died. Okay, well... That might just be where we ended because my pin died. I knew my pen was at like 50%, but I was like, surely it will survive. Surely it can last over an hour. And to be fair, it did. To be fair, it did. Well, my opinion. Oh, okay, your opinion on it, Howard. Interesting. We will have to talk more about that. Put a pin in that. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about Fire Emblem next time. I think... I say with not a lot of confidence. I think I'll do an Infinity Nikki stream this week because I need to catch up on the game. And then next Sunday, I think I'm in town. And I think I'll do a stream. But I don't, that's not 100%. I might move stream an hour later. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It didn't help that it came after Three Houses, which is beloved, and people didn't like the anime VTuber style of Engage. Ah, that makes sense. I think I did hear some complaints about people being like, the aesthetic is moving in a direction we don't care for. But I also feel like OG Fire Emblem fans did not like the Awakening on generation. Because they're like, well, we miss it being like pixel arty. And now it's getting too anime. Now it's super anime. I definitely think that's like a thing that's been changing throughout the games industry, especially with Nintendo games for a hot minute. But nonetheless, I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you for stopping by today, and as always, bye-bye!